I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular town board meeting for February 22nd. I'd like to ask everybody to please turn off cell phones and electronic devices, and assisted listening devices are available for the hearing impaired. In-house tonight is Jason Myers, Rob Morial, and John Jacoby. Via Zoom is Bill Guyben. Rob was having trouble logging on, so he couldn't get onto the Zoom, but he is here to my right. So if anybody has any questions, he can hear my computer, which is right here. So with that, I'll ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd also ask for a moment of silent reflection, please. Thank you very much. Agenda approval. Does anybody have anything to add to the agenda?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Bill.
Two things. The Town Association online classes, I'd like to mention that, and recreation, it may be covered under Mike Tashlow's report or also be under my report. That's it.
Okay. Anybody else have anything to add? Okay, can I get the agenda, motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resident statements. Tom Smith.
I've got a copy here for Al Bax and a copy for you. These are signed. If you want me to bring them up, perhaps somebody else grab these.
Have Dave train.
Al's
Al's via Zoom, so Al's not here.
And then I got copies for the rest of the board members, and I'd like to have that entered into record for this board meeting. Now, for all here, the facts and the truth, and to make this
hold on
town better.
Wait, Tom.
Just turn your volume down. On the sides.
Okay.
No. Good? All right.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna shut it down.
Go ahead.
If I can.
Yeah, just turn it on. Okay.
All right, you know how to turn this thing on. I'm just kidding.
If you check, there should be a little mute button in the top left.
Is there a mute button there?
It's not today, is it?
You can just shut it down. You're on Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that should take care of it. Just working out. Thank you.
That's why we needed that.
Yeah. Good. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we're all here to make this town better, and we should all be able to communicate about what's gone on wrong. Because there's a lot of stuff that has gone on wrong. So there's a police commission set up. People want to make things better. And there's the dialogue where we start. And you can look into the mountain of evidence that I have. And this is not to grind an axe. This is to prevent this finely tuned machine of harmonic corruption from swallowing up another family and spitting them out. From another son like mine to have to go through all these years of all this nonsense. It's not fair, it's not right, it's un-American. So I've got some freedom of information requests, and I'm going to put those on record, and hopefully going forward, we can figure out how to make this place better, how to affect a positive change, and how to get the residents to start believing in the police officers that patrol this town. Because behind the scenes, it's not good. And nobody's gonna answer that survey with anything. There needs to be a little bit more than that, so thank you for your time.
Thanks, Tom. And Don is our official FOIL person, so I'll make sure she gets a copy as well. Okay. Alan, did you want to say anything?
No,
Okay.
I'm on the agenda. Unless you want me to do it now?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Al.
Mr. Supervisor?
Yes.
Did Mr. Smith provide us with a new FOIL request?
Yes, he's got one for me and for you, and I'm gonna make sure Donna gets one.
Very good. Let him know we'll take care of it right away.
Okay, thanks. So that'll do it for in-house. Did anybody else want to say anything? Just unmute yourself and speak up, please. I will give one more opportunity. Anybody would like to speak, you can unmute and speak now. Okay, moving on, we'll go to department head concerns. Captain, the chief's off tonight. Is there anything you wanted to?
We have for the open position, we have a PT test coming up on March 4th for him. And then we'll be interviewing after that. And then all our officers are gonna be going through disability training. And we're sending one of our guys to train the trainer on that.
Okay.
Be trained in-house next month.
Did you hear him, Bill?
No.
On March 4th, they have a PT test for our next hire. So they once the PT test is over, then they'll be able to get a list for, to do the hires.
Thank you.
Yeah. Donna?
I myself don't have anything, but I did receive, I do, actually. But I did receive an email from a resident that said if he wasn't here, asked me to read it. It's from Steve Lyle from River Road. It says, I once again ask the town board to consider an independent audit of the $1 million+ engineering contract for this project. He's referencing the water line project. It is inconceivable that the town would award this contract to the company, GHD, that the town engineer works for. Aside from the ethical optics, it puts the engineer in a very difficult position. It is only fair to the engineer and a fiduciary responsibility of the town board to ensure that this $1 million+ of mine and your tax dollars is being spent responsibly. You bid out $2,000 copy contracts, computer services, tree cutting, but not a complex $1 million deal.
Okay.
Steve Lyle, Lewiston, Lower River Road.
Thank you, Steve. Dave Train?
No,
Oh,
I
you
do,
still,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I do have the, two, notices of renewal for their alcoholic beverage licenses for the Niagara Falls Country Club. One of them is for, the beverage and golf cart, and the other one is for the halfway house. The board just needs to acknowledge.
Okay.
As practice, we just simply say no objection, received and filed.
Yes. And you just did
That's
that.
correct, Mr. Guyman. All you need to do is acknowledge that you received it, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you. Anything else, Donna?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Dave Train? All set. Ed, anything? I know Tim's on, so. Tim Masters.
I'm on the agenda, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay, good. Mike Dashinoff.
I just want to give you guys an update as to our Greenway project that was approved last meeting. We are on the Greenway agenda on May 11th for the Fletcher Road Park playground, where we'll be doing the presentation for that, and after that we will be submitting to the standing committee. We'll hope to have funding for that available shortly. Other than that, we are currently taking registrations for our spring sports, our baseball and softball programs. That's going well in the first week, and that's it.
If I may, we've also talked about the Sanborn Recreation Apparatus Equipment that was originally put in 1998, and it's past its life expectancy, and we need to move forward with that. Mike is in the process of putting together the specs and the costs, and hopefully he'll have that within 2 weeks, Mike?
Correct.
All right, real good. And the snow forts are out there. Mother Nature just doesn't want to cooperate. she turned everything into rain and ice today.
Okay.
Mike, the completion of Fletcher, is that this year? Will that be this year then, once everything's okayed? Or is that gonna be?
If the timeline plays out correctly, I don't think you'd have a problem getting this done at the end of this summer.
Yeah.
Having major construction during our busiest months will probably be a little bit tough, so we won't be able to get that done in the spring. And obviously May 11th with the Greenway Committee. Once we get approval on it, it'll be a very quick process to award the contract to the company, and then obviously it's just up to them to set a construction date for it.
All right, that's great. All right.
Okay, anything else, Mike?
No.
Okay. Bill Conrad.
Nothing from me, I'm all set.
Okay. Jeff Ritter.
Nothing at this time, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay, thank you. Bob Landon, are you on the agenda?
I am, Mr. Supervisor. I have the Kiwanis Park bid, which is under old business, and the only other thing I just wanted to inform the board is that we are currently in the middle of the lead agency coordination time frame for adoption of the new local law for the flood prevention. I have spoken to Mr. Bax, and we have proposed a timeline of March 8th, which is, I believe, the next work session, where we would call for a public hearing to be held at the March regular town board meeting, which I believe is the 22nd of the month, during which time we'll have to have the public hearing and adopt the local law in time to meet the requirements of the DEC and FEMA.
Okay, thank you. Why don't we go ahead and talk about the Kiwanis basketball program while you're up?
Sure, certainly. I'm hoping that the board has received what is essentially a 90% packet. There's a whole bunch of paperwork in there, okay, which is common for construction contracts. There's included in there also are 4 or 5 construction drawings that depict the project, which is essentially to demolish the existing half-court basketball court and construct a new large basketball court and a new half-court basketball court, okay, adjacent to the existing court. And the existing basketball court, tennis court, and pickleball courts will all be resurfaced as well. Included in the project will be the installation of some drainage in the area beneath and adjacent to the new courts. Mike Dashnow, I understand, has pre-purchased 4 basketball goals. He got off a state bid. So those will be incorporated into the project to be installed by the contractor and certainly furnished by the town. So Mike took advantage of that for a cost-saving measure. I'm not sure if he's received them or not yet, but he'll store those until such time as we need them for the construction contractor.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
They're in possession of right now the Parks Department. The abstract tonight also included payment for those.
Okay, good.
Beautiful. So if the board's okay, I would ask permission to authorize JHT to advertise for construction for bids for the project. We could do that as early as sometime later this week if the board is so inclined.
Go ahead, Al.
Mr. Supervisor, I've had a chance to look at the paperwork, and it's approvable tonight, so you can go forward with it.
Okay, good. So I'd like a motion to have GHD and Bob Lannon move forward on putting out the bid for the new basketball court at Kiwanis Park.
And make that motion as stated.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Okay, thank you. That's it for me.
Okay. Let's see here. Did I miss anybody? You guys bear with me on Zoom. Okay. And Mrs. Maggard, you're on the agenda, so I didn't forget about you. You are?
Yeah.
I don't see myself.
Well, yes, you do. You will.
Take our word for it.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't forget Melinda.
Oh, is Melinda on there?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm sorry. You got to print your name for us, Melinda. That's okay.
I just want to say that today we started the first day of the AARP tax prep at the center. So we're offering that. People should call if they would like an appointment for seniors to have their taxes prepared by AARP. That will be Mondays and Fridays.
Right up until April 15th?
Yeah, I think the 12th is the last day, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, Terry Duffy, did you get that? Okay, hopefully Terry got that, so.
Yeah, we're inundated, so it's okay if we didn't. We have about 1 million calls every day, so yeah, we're doing good.
Okay, anything else, Melinda?
Nope, that's it for now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Bill, for catching that. I need approval of the meeting minutes, December 28th, 2020 town board meeting.
We have to do them not all at one time. December 22nd, first, move for approval.
28.
28, sorry.
Yep. So we have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Did Rob abstain?
Yes.
Okay. Move for approval of the February 8th work session and February 12th emergency town board resolution meetings.
Second.
As printed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. And Councilman Guyben, audit payment.
Okay, I forgot it on my cell phone, so we have to make sure I can open it.
More technology.
All right, do something else for a second. I move for approval of the regular abstract of claims number 2147 to 2151, 2000, and number 230 to 392 for 2020, and recommend the amount of payment of $639,400.
Gotta love technology.
Did you lose me?
We lost you. I think you lost us.
No, somebody called in. Recommend the payment of $639,427.98, plus the post audit of $17,557.51. That's a motion for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Donna, residents, public correspondence?
Nothing.
Okay. Under Supervisor Broderick, legal. Al, the resolution refunding of the 2013 serial bonds.
Jackie's not on the line tonight, is she?
Jackie, are you there?
I told Jackie that she's not feeling well. Try to shepherd this through. As you are aware, the town board is aware. In 2013, we went out to bond for approximately $5 million worth of bonding. Municipal services or municipal solutions borrowing advisor. We found that some money. They had recommended that we go out for an RFP to see if we have other lenders possibly provide us with a better deal and save the town money. What we've come to find is that we, in fact, could save almost $600,000 over the next 12 years. Approximately, this is what's been estimated by Municipal Solutions, $594,000 over the next 12 years. That are and the proposed, I believe, the greatest savings would come from these bonds being reissued, if you will, by Greene County Commercial Bank. The only reason I say this is that there's a resolution in front of you has been provided by our Mr. Goodfriend, our bond counsel, and that resolution would basically authorize the supervisor to move forward in a way that he deems or deems it to get these bonds refinanced through Greene County Commercial Bank. So part of the savings, just so everyone's aware and the public is aware, out of the fact that Greene County Commercial Bank is going to be holding these internally. They're not going to be reissuing them to the public. There's a sizable savings right there. This particular lending institution or financial was able to an additional $50,000 over the next highest or the next greatest savings bank. So the resolution is here before you. I believe this has to be a roll call vote. Effectively, it authorizes the supervisor to move forward with the refunding of what's left of the bonds in the next 12 years. That amount is $3.18 million of bonding. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Okay. I'll first ask for a motion to approve the resolution, refunding bond resolution dated February 22nd, 2021 as presented.
Second.
No, you make the motion. I'm asking for a motion.
I'll make that motion. I'm sorry.
Okay. We
Second.
have a motion and a second. Any questions for Al? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm sorry. Go ahead, Donna.
Okay, Councilman Giben,
Yes.
Councilman Jacoby,
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Morial,
Yes.
Councilman Myers,
Yes.
Supervisor Broderick.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you, Al.
Don't we have to do something else?
No,
One pres-
just the one resolution, because that authorizes the, in your resolution, you'll note that it doesn't mention Greene County Commercial Bank by name, but it does authorize the supervisor to take whatever steps are necessary to have these refinanced. And I think our discussion, based on what I've said and what the board has expressed, it's our understanding that the supervisor is going to be moving forward with this Greene County Commercial Bank. God forbid something were to happen in Greene County Commercial Bank, or they to pull back on the deal, the supervisor would be authorized to move to the next best savings.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, finance, Jackie. I know Jackie's
Yes.
there. Go ahead.
I asked the board to approve the budget revisions that were submitted earlier to each of you.
I move that we accept these and approve these budget revisions
As presented.
as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
And Bob, I have engineering under mine. You're all set though, right?
Yep, good to go.
Okay. Councilman Giben, we already took care of the recreation equipment.
I want to comment about the associations of towns function this spring was all on Zoom and webcam. I have to say it was very informative, but it just didn't have the same interaction that you get when you're attending the session. One of the things that I found out that I thought was worthy of repeating right away, with the amount of money coming down the pipe from the stimulus, I heard it twice, once in the session and once by Senator Schumer, who said communities should get ready to make sure that they can utilize some of this revenue. Some of it will be earmarked and some of it will be relatively general. But if we're going to do anything with infrastructure, I heard on the session that it's going to be a very short turnaround, about 6 weeks from when the grant is presented to when it will be awarded. So the municipalities that have shovel-ready projects might have a leg up. So we have to think about it. The one we have left over from the water project before was Escarpment Drive. That may be a perfect one to do. And Bob and I talked about a couple other smaller projects that may need to be considered. So between now and the next couple of weeks, we need to make a decision if we want to spend the money to invest in engineering to be shovel-ready. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Councilman Jacoby.
The only thing that I don't know about, let me shut my mic off.
Well, here, let me mute. I'll mute mine. Hold on. Try now.
Okay, the only thing I'm not sure about is I don't have a seeker here for the River Road project.
I have a seeker first.
Yeah, I know, that's.
Which one? This one, seeker. Because it's, this one, seeker.
Gotta read the whole thing?
I would, yeah, and then this one, you got this one. That's the seeker.
Okay.
It's in front of your computer, actually.
Oh, all right, that's okay. Okay, I have the seeker in front of me. The resolution regarding the seeker for site plan review of the Elia Riverfront stairs and decking. Whereas a short environmental assessment form has been prepared for the proposed action, which consists of the construction of decking, steps from street level to the river, and an observation pavilion enclosure with utilities located at 4647 Lower River Road within the town of Lewiston Riverfront Overlay District. And whereas the short form environmental assessment form does not identify any moderate to large impact to the environment associated with the project, and whereas the town of Lewiston Planning Board has recommended a negative deck for seeker, now therefore be it resolved that it is determined that the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse impacts on the environment, and it is directed that this negative deck pursuant to seeker be prepared and filed. I make a motion to approve the seeker.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah.
Mr. Jacoby could just amend his motion to accept the negative deck of the seeker analysis.
Okay, accept the negative.
I amended as stated by our attorney.
You got a second that?
Go ahead.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Now, the second part is Town of Lewiston resolution approving site plan review for the Elia River Road, stairs and decking. Whereas the Town of Lewiston received an application from Alan Elia for site plan review to allow for a project which consists of the construction of decking, steps from street level to the river, and an observation pavilion enclosure with utilities located at 4647 Lower River Road within the Town of Lewiston Riverfront Overlay District. And whereas the Town of Lewiston Planning Board reviewed the proposed project and recommended approval with the following conditions. 1, the grinder pump is to be maintained by and remain the responsibility of the property owner. 2, applicant to satisfy all DEC and Army Corps of Engineers permit requirements. 3, applicant to demonstrate same to the town. And whereas the town board has considered all relevant testimony, documents, and all other information presented and placed before it, and whereas applicant has satisfied the planning board's recommended conditions 2 and 3, whereas the town board has issued a negative deck under seeker, now therefore be it resolved that based on the testimony, documents, and other information presented, the town board finds that the application fully complies with all requirements set forth under town code, specifically Articles 17 and 20, and be it further resolved that the board further finds no adverse impacts that require mitigation caused by this project, and be it further resolved that the site plan review is hereby approved as presented, conditioned on 1, the grinder pump is to be maintained by and remain the responsibility of the property owner. Well, I propose that we approve this project.
So we have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Then the second thing I have tonight, Mr. Supervisor, we want to vote on approval of the new town seals. We have 2. Do you have the copies?
I did not have the copies. They were emailed to everybody. I know it was option 2 is the one that I
Yes.
believe.
Can I make a little statement about it? All of the board members have seen it. All of the board members have seen the seals. We narrowed it down to 2. And, well, we'll take the vote and see who favors what. How many people favor the first seal? That would be the top one.
Well, let's just ask everybody. Bill, I'll start with you. Did you get a chance to look at both option 1 and option 2?
2.
2. Jason?
Yeah.
2. Rob?
I like two, because of the way the
Yeah.
bridge and everything.
So I think it's unanimous, so if you want to make a motion.
I make the motion that we accept the seal as produced by Mrs. Mackert and her lovely granddaughter.
Option 2.
Option 2.
Make sure it's in there.
Thank you, and I like that one too.
We haven't voted yet.
I know.
I make the motion that we approve it.
We have a motion. We need a second. Any more questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Now you can celebrate.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Now the work has got to be done.
Be sure and thank your granddaughter for us.
Yes,
So
I will.
everybody use up all your envelopes and your letterhead, and
Make sure
you
you
know, no new shirts till they're completely worn out, though.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's all I have, Mr. Supervisor.
Okay, Councilman Morial.
Okay, we got a retirement, I just had it in front of me. What did I do here? Okay, this was addressed to Jeff Ritter, Supervisor Steve Broderick, and town board members and town clerk. I would like to notify you that I'm retiring from my position as a 3A operator at the Water Pollution Control Center. My last day of employment with the town of Lewiston will be March 25th, 2021. While I'm looking forward to this new chapter in my life, I will miss the many town employees who I've had the privilege of knowing and working with in the last 20 years. I appreciate the opportunity to have been part of the Lewiston town family. Kind regards, Martin Lauer. And with regrets, I'd like to accept his retirement on March 25th, 2021.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Congratulations, yes. Thank you.
Second is a rezoning application for 5235 Lewiston Road. It's the church next door to Sacred Heart Villa. They're asking for a rezoning from an R1 classification to a B business, where retail sales are permitted under section 36070H of the town code. And I'd like to open this up for discussion.
Yeah. Is anybody interested in making a motion to rezone the property?
No.
No, I'm not.
No?
No.
Mr. Supervisor, as we've had this issue before us before, this is nothing that you necessarily need to take action on tonight. If there's anyone who feels the need to make a motion, they can. But I would just suggest that you take it under advisement if no one's willing to make a motion right now.
Yeah. That's about where we stand, so nobody's willing to make a motion, so we'll take it under advisement for our attorney. Okay?
Okay, and the next on my agenda is the 2021 chart fee for the zoning and the municipal review fee schedule for Tim Masters' department. And he's redid all the fees, and there was a lot of inequities in these fees where they just didn't make sense. So he went through them, and he went through with the supervisor, and I think he did a very good job, and it needed to be done. I'd like to make a motion to approve the fees as presented.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. I want to leave it up for discussion. Tim, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. So Tim talked to me several times about this. How long have you been working on this, Tim? Over a year, correct?
Over a year, and the fees have not been updated since 2006. So we've charged the same $400 building permit fee since 2006. This will be the first time we've raised it. So, like you said, for the last year, we've been reviewing it, getting comments from contractors, checking other towns' fees, not wanting to be the highest person in the region, don't want to be the lowest either. So it's all the same amount of work. If I inspect a hotel in Lewiston or Lockport or Amherst, the same amount of work gets done either way. And one place they're getting 10 times the amount of money that we're getting for doing the same amount of work. So that was one of the things that spurred us to redo our whole, not only fee schedule for our department, but also the land review, subdivision fees. They haven't been done since Nesbarmer and Clark was the town engineer in 2012.
Yeah, and I know Tim and I talked about several fees. I mean, there was one in particular where a local municipality in Erie County charges $300,000 for a fee that we charge. What do we charge, Tim, for that same fee?
About $2,500 to $700.
Yeah, and they're charging $300,000. So obviously, we're not at $300,000, but we definitely improved it. So we have a motion and a second to approve the 2021 fee chart and municipal review fee
A
schedule.
little more discussion?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's, I spoke with the supervisor and Mr. Masters about this on several occasions.
Oh, you're muted.
I did
Hold
have-
on 1 second.
I spoke with the supervisor and Mr. Masters about this on several occasions. And I'd like to add that in many instances, if not most, these new fees reflect the amount of time that our inspectors have to spend on inspecting, the paperwork, the secret, all the things that go into approving these. And I think our old fees, broken down, we were paying far more in wages and benefits and stuff. It was a total loss. And so now we're approaching at least break even on it. And we don't have people out there doing it as a charity for the town.
And Tim is liable for a budget for his department, and when you're losing money and doing these, all these forms and inspections, it didn't make sense, so I'm glad this is done. This has been long overdue.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, you know, it's not arbitrary, it's not some act where we pulled numbers out of the sky. They really went to great lengths to make sure it was fair and straightforward. And I think I'd like to vote on it.
Okay, before we vote, Al Bax?
Yes, Mr. Sewer, I just want to make sure that that motion incorporates, there are two sets of fees. One which is the 2021 fee chart for the building department, and then there was a second, which was the municipal review fee schedule. I believe Mr. Jacobo for those sets of fees, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you want us to do separate motions, or do you want to do them both on one?
It's not necessary as long as it's clear that he's moving both of them at the same time.
Okay, all right. Yep. So, do you want to amend it to include both the municipal? Go ahead.
Yeah, I make the, amend the motion to include the municipal review fee schedule as well as the town of Lewiston Building Department 2021 fee chart.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Councilman Myers, anything?
Thank you.
No? Resident statements, there is, would you like to say anything? No? Would anybody like to say anything? I'm gonna refer to our Zoom individuals. Anybody like to say anything? If you'd like to say something, unmute and speak now.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to commend both Mr. Nello, Jackie Nello, and yourself, Your Honor, on the bond refinancing. I think that's one of those things that would normally slip by. I think Jackie's done a wonderful job throughout this whole process, and I'm just speaking as a resident now, not as the town attorney, but I really think that she's done a yeoman's job, and I really think she deserves a round of applause in addition to a pat on the back for making sure that we save this money at every corner. And, you know, other municipalities are in a position where they're scraping to find pennies, and here we are. We stumbled upon almost $600,000, so I'd just like to thank her personally.
Okay, I agree. So we'll give Jackie a quick round of applause. Good job, Jackie.
Thank you, but I never do anything alone, so always with all of you right behind me or right alongside of me.
Yeah. Well, you surround yourself with good people and good companies. Hopefully, opportunities like this don't pass us by. So I appreciate what Jackie did, and I appreciate what Municipal Solutions did. So a shout out goes to them as well. Upcoming boards, commission meetings, the work session will be March 8th, 2021 at 6 p.m. The Environmental Commission is March 9th at 7 p.m. The Historic Preservation Commission is March 9th at 6:30 PM. And the Zoning Board of Appeals is March 11th at 6:30 PM. And then the regular town board meeting is March 22nd, 2021 at 6 PM.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mrs. Nygaard, do you think we will meet the historic?
I'm hoping that'll happen.
Okay,
It
we're not
depends on
calling.
how
Yeah.
well everything is going as far as the pandemic.
But as of now, it looks like we probably will.
What will be the location of that meeting?
Location would, that's up in the air. Where would we meet?
Well, if nobody is in the courtroom,
Right?
we could meet in the courtroom.
If it's unavailable, we'll have to cancel.
Yes,
Unless we can go to the senior center.
Yeah.
there's an
Okay.
idea too. I can ask Melinda.
Yeah, what day is it?
March 9th?
March 9th at 6:30, but we'll put you on the back burner until we find out if the court is available.
Right,
Yeah, just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And with that, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, have a good night, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Good job, Ms. Nygaard.
Well, the commission will love it.
Really?